Good morning.
Agwasi, massage. Yes, massage Subio. Agwasi, Majo so. Yes, but there are so many changes we have about in the history of politics, man. And most of the times, you know, accepting them in good faith, you know, are complicated.
Okay.
Nipa entiase no aya na duru ba bia eden say ye betimi ate those things na se na timi aboa ama oman na wotim no atimi afiri adomu e de akonanim na enema mienu e na wo kan ho asem e wa ha and because of that intino means me say me stretch it on na afa ye nyina ye hu say ampa saa oman na ye nyina ye tim no eye enema bi e na betimi aboa enhyehyeye e na ye di bu oman Ghana agwazi enya de ye wo nkwa wo pe e na most of the times ye di bu oman nemum eye de wo pe e na ye betimi e de abu oman ankanye nyina kanya ha na ye tie eti akwasi de dika wo the indelible ink e na wo ka che yen say yes Ghana for any NDC for a raise problems mean apart from the NDC maintain say obia a raise problem about that view afi SL me pam chow MCA
for any Ghana for ya
yes Oma mama aya picture bi sisi e SL me patcho fato sma me na afi yen hwe eye wo ma na be complaini if you say so one complaini a bia ne ma bi wa won so wonti ase ye but eye duru ba bia explanations ne so ba mama ye nyina ye ntina wo so o man ba kumba na ye nsua de na ye mbisa ye ho se okay na sema wo kan ye ni we dia wo kan ni maami dia wo kan ni no ye nso ye de ye susu hu ni na ye hwa de wo de ba no ebeboa na aba wom nimdie wom nyansa wom enya asam ni nyina na wote ya no ama cross now de ye abufuo now de call we say de bia be mistake eti SL fa picture na me de ama osisi ano factors mano show for me factors mama enti akwasi edi enti na ye maami a ye fe no Jen Mensa or say on to me emfa indelible ink enya djuma in the 2024 elections reason in ye nyina yenkan MPP for NDC for any all political parties am Ghana momo ama ye nyina yenkan sade wei eto asum a ye yifiri ho a ebeye ya the issue of indelible ink. The question is when we were not doing biometric, we were basically using your face, your card. We look at your face and we say this picture looks like you. So back in those days, na ye the pictures on kwana na ye adwuma. Eti na ye gye waso, ye gye honam bibia because na ye the picture na ye adwuma. Eti wo ba beto aba na ye hwe wanim na ye hwe picture na ye wo album nim na ye say okay eye wa. Na wo to aba ni nyina awia na ye de wonsa kokromoto no na ye de asi ensuo bim na ye de ahye wonso say what to waba awie. Now, the way forward in 2012, another introduction of a method of voting na biometric machine devices are ya de to aba e wo man ganem na ye hu bi da initially nan kwofo kasa wo ho but afareja ne kwofo tim de niam gu fom e ma ye tiase ye na tie. Now after the introduction of the biometric machines, what next? The biometric technology makes it difficult for a person who has been verified and cast their vote to come a second time. So there is no need for indelible ink. Once you have been verified, it goes into the system and you cannot come back a second time. Introduction of biometric machines aba. Na biometric machines buy no aba beka wanim waso wo card any time now tell no picture ni na abeka home. And the worker say because of this new introduction of that technology into Afe, it is difficult for a person who has been verified no and saying minu nyina ya atwen say ye koto aba. Most of the times we do what nasia you check you be no documents nyina wi age ye nie ye ma wo de wonsasi afidie na eda ho no so and no ne friend verification machine say ya wo na wo de wonsasi so na ebe you details nyina e dia ba na fe waka kire wo say eye no kre sa information na wo ho nyina no eye wo dia sa information nyina eye wo dia dia then what next just say you are qualified to vote at that instant and for that matter you need to go through the system and vote. Going through the system and vote, you know, who vote we are, who bet me as a qua about to a banning be one. Ubetimi asa ko aba beto aba ne bie wana. No, because biometric machine no e di kaya peke wonsa ne dada. E for that matter, you are okay with it. You are okay with it. And for that matter, so if you are okay with it, dear, and yet there is no need. So what they want say about the indelible inking. If you say biometric machine, no, about very replacing the indelible ink. Say the indelible ink, no, what the one say no bomwa. Untimi nkoma emma meto abane bio efise ink ni won sa ye yi ink ni free ho a afei wo de won sasi machine ni so a untimi emfa ma emma meto bio abra machine na di ka verify wo de won sa be sisu bio a be reject e be detect am so what di ka ba emfa da enti wei nyansa wom nimdie wom eto asomu esevu Ghana from Sikai na ye hwere no e wo indelible ink ne ho ana me am tie yes meka che Ghana for nyina se Ghana for ma me je mensa obi obeka che obi ase indelible ink na ye free ho no e ha adwene bia oya bonsam okay on pe Ghana ye sisi ya dey sisi ya nya hwe sa ma me no de sa indelible ink ne kan biometric ne ho a eye tautology extra cost and a Ghana e kana yebo and don't forget electoral commission kwa ni commissioner wo my Ghana yimu a ne budget a wo be ya ma no and nam so ye commission ti no obi ani hu kwa so ba fefe ne budget ni ejije wo konya sabi kromfo a wo ti sika wiase a what the budget ne ba yes he will present it to the parliament ni betimi scrutinize ade we ni e bia ye njintu but wonim kwa faso a wode ne niema eye adwuma de obi a ye de te no wo wia sika twitwiri die no ono anasem enti eniema bi wo wa me kwa menti ase se maame no omu kasa kwa kire ye maame e sanfa be hyem na fei Ghana for moka a nimdie bia ni so because no and a Ghana for so
US so me biometric omu so
yes yes yeah the card
and
the card ne to aba eti me catch me nkofo ne madofo nyina se madofo e a mo hwe Maranatha television mo me support to maame no or very good knowledge but wonim de with this e betimi aboa ama Ghana etimi akonanim na fe number 2 don't forget the Ghanaian politician ade a wo ye de ma Ghana for ne se eka ena omu burugu ho e de ma Ghana for maame nye na dwen se obaburo ka e de agu ho e de ama Ghana for enti so onye na dwen se obaburo ka e de agu Ghana for ho dia ene ye ntie now on to the time of 3 p.m. eye ana enye me pacho for akoma na obufo no to nchen yenka no kre
yen di same people to
yen fon to nchen
yen trust se Ghana
yen hwem na yen trust se Ghana for na yen hwe ensem na maame no ene ne komisa ne ka kire ye eto asomu ana ento asomu esel me the picture bi ama sound display ma misisia na kwasi yen hwe the discussion na yen hwe the discussion ni nyina awia ye be hwe se ebe boa ana se emboa akwasi tie maame ne de ne influences no every 2020 election a wono no ye in charge ene wo de baaye na ne nsem o ka nyina ne se abena wo tena se na wo ye postmortem ehwe aftermath of 2020 election eniema wo hunu in 2020 70% of our polling centers had a voter threshold of 500 and below was you say
na o say omo to aba no polling station centers no omo ko to aba no usema wo ha ngichemu adioso aya 70% no omo to aba no hono be 500 and to aba wo na no mutimi to wiencham
that enipa be 500 and na most of the time no police station e dia wo to aba no enye 1000 enye 500 yento aswe this time we intend to ensure that all our polling station centers have a threshold of 500 voters. After 2024 election, yeah man more 500. Any panel 501 one no, you be in a different station. Me pacho or twaso tienie and below. In the same vein, we will increase the number of our polling stations nationwide. After 38,000 polling stations, and a mameno what the two about 2020, and now say all reduce number no abamana by 500 in tip. Say 38,000 on found for the 10,000 polling stations. To cater for the extra people now, what year free 500 no needs hard to make room for them. We believe that this will go a long way to reduce the long queue. Like ting na yes ano. Afi esoba ye den. that characterize our elections and allow for a smooth, seamless, hassle-free voting process. But on amena sema akwasi okaya enie eti asem we na ma amena kaya no. Number 1, akwasi we ni party semia. Odwe ho say.
With this.
Aye.
Me chama yes. Ye you panyini. Na wo ba na se ye wo want to me ansakrem. Ana wo ba no amese na. E ba na wo ne mfaso amaso.
Okay.
Ma me nwuma wo de egu akwan mu no. To me no. Sega na ni.
Okay.
Me nya ndisi ni. Me nya pipi ni.
Okay.
Since you talk about best policy.
Okay. And wo hu.
Yes.
Best policy wo hu. Okay.
After extra cost.
Okay. Good.
With this, okay, another police station.
Good.
Police station be am come more 501.
Dabida.
Until within that time 1 p.m. No?
Yes.
You bet me out to about
good.
3 p.m.
Now my minister had in Chechemu biaba. Say last year 2020. Estimation in Nipa Baku Bia Hono. Nipa Baku Bia spending less than 5 minutes in the voting process. Me patron afei SL me did the last picture amount display na fe yen disclose na me fa kwasi amofa time ema no na fe ti ade experience from 2020 yi NDC to nchen yi MPP to nchen yi other political parties to nchen yen ti asem na oka no ebe boaye na emoaye akwasi afei from the experience in 2020 elections any our experience in 2020 reveals that by 1:00 p.m. 70% of our polling stations were empty of voters, as most voters had cast their vote.
You almost say, about polling station centers, almost 70%. About don't come back, or Mobacono, Obacono, Bia, you will be to Naberry. Obia, about don't come, no, Bia, you have to Naberry. And to see a fat the whole Ghana in area. Or hunting to move at your soul. I guess I bear some cophone, Omatoma Berry, don't go. Omatoma, and the engine money bassa, Mamma didn't Chemu abai. This made it possible because the threshold of most polling centers were reduced to 500 voters per voting center. It's not caneno before my many bebano. Not every polling station be above 500, it be 1,000, 1,500. In that case, Mubedi line match. Nemo omutiti polling stations no so ni voters no so no. Omutie so ba 500. And I'm saying so obi akoso okoto na ba achekura do donko no ato na ba wie. Was signed to us. This was coupled with the robust verification device that were deployed to the polling stations. After machines, almost had the machines say papa. I almost understand by appropriate measures. A go actually for to buy near the beer I replace it. And for that matter, you bet me I should nipa 500 within the shortest possible time. Or to answer so, we are convinced. Akwasi unim say in Ghana, the history of Ghana, ye election be the commission trans postmortem. Me assessment good for the next year's elections. Etitie after years analysis when you wie no. Ma me nsema working. This was coupled with a robust verification makai. And the Wakache Ghana for say, we are convinced that by closing the polls at 3 p.m., we will be able to count the collate in broad daylight, and this will promote the needed transparency and orderliness that we so desire. So now for 3 o'clock abo. Enipa 500 obi abetuna ba wie. I didn't see where day because back on 5 more na so 1 o'clock what to ba wi yet ho maybe na me station away ya carry na ko bo be 8 good anajo bi ha kan ani ho ya che so kan ya bi so car light but what you say it is a message ya ma me ya kan MPP mra NDC mra CPP mra gum mra okay ma me jensi say no ye nti yan enipa 500 ye fan say obi ekoso okoto abana ebetimi abase e bia 2 o'clock no mawia na ebetimi abase e bia 1 o'clock no mawia na ma me no so di kai catch yen say in 2020 elections sa enipa ode nipa no call 500 no wo ye ni analysis ni bibia wie no 1 o'clock na 70% of Ghanaians are when we are eligible to vote at that point at that time at that specific time in question no na almost 70% of the voter centers no obi out na ba wie and indirectly a child said send me be more police stations can't be existing ones no na me team man so nyina ba 500 that
30% na can remaining no because I'm na 100 no metimi anya
okay
we nyanza ni
enchechemu no
yes
enti obi ate a afi Maranatha TV
yes
but other station no for we ma no enti o tifia ne wate no
yes
electoral commission wi abani
yes
MPP
mo because tie enchechemu no ni NDC party ni ko no agufo wona koma mu manti wa amfa enchechemu no kre no ama ne members MPP for so o man fam chechemu no kre ama eti Ghana for no we are in a dilemma we are hanging we are being in suspense ye hu ba bia ye ko ye hu ba bia ye ba but no kre no enie asem na ma me kan ni video na boy no emu nsem nie se amwam a no problem na mom nyansa wo se betimi aboa se betimi aboa ne akan aba no 2 hours ama 500 ye betimi akan ya wi
that day e be declare bibia
oh yes yes
we
ye betimi ye betimi
so it's simple
eti eye ananye eti akosia mofa wonu ahwefo ma kire maame no the time and the indelible ink will be ntiase a ombisa question bia we are here to educate
050299738 050299738 WhatsApp on so sada ye be phone lines na tumbra na yentumi ni nkomo it's all about electoral commission or call it say be cross post at 3 p.m. if you know indelible ink now also